What if the real secret to success isn't IQ or luck, but your ability to read people like an open book? This audiobook reveals the hidden art of social intelligence, the skill that shapes influence, connection, and lasting power. Master it, and you'll never see the world the same way again. In today's world flooded with information but starving for genuine connection, social intelligence is the one skill machines cannot replicate. It's the ability to perceive, interpret, and respond to others with precision and empathy. Imagine walking into any room and instantly knowing what everyone feels, who holds the power, and exactly what to say to build trust and spark connection. Social intelligence is not fixed or reserved for a lucky few. It's a skill anyone can learn and master. Unlike emotional intelligence, which focuses on managing your own emotions, social intelligence is outward-facing. It's about reading the emotions and intentions behind others' words, silences, and body language. It's knowing when to speak, when to listen, when to push, and when to pause. This skill explains why some people are magnetic while others fade into the background, why certain leaders inspire loyalty while others struggle with disengaged teams, and why some effortlessly build powerful networks while others remain invisible. This book isn't about shallow tips or feel-good platitudes. It's a deep dive into the mechanics of social mastery. You'll learn to decode unspoken social rules, understand why you sometimes feel invisible or misunderstood, and gain practical frameworks you can use in meetings, relationships, interviews, negotiations, and high-stakes confrontations. You'll explore real-world scenarios like networking events, first dates, heated arguments, and boardroom power plays, breaking down what socially intelligent people do differently. You'll discover subtle psychological cues people react to subconsciously and how to master verbal and non-verbal communication, from vocal tone to micro-expressions. Be warned, once you begin developing social intelligence, you'll start seeing the world differently. You'll notice what's unsaid in conversations, how often people speak from fear or insecurity, how miscommunication derails relationships, and how fragile and priceless trust truly is. This book is for those ready to move beyond awkwardness, self-doubt, and social burnout. Whether introverted or extroverted, ambitious or rebuilding confidence, this is for you. Developing social intelligence isn't about changing who you are. It's about unlocking your most effective, influential self. So here's the challenge. Imagine that by the end of this book, you can walk into any situation or conversation with confidence, knowing exactly how to connect, lead, and influence. Imagine finally feeling at ease in your own skin, equipped to navigate any social terrain. If that excites you even a little, comment 100 and keep going. Because the transformation starts now, and once you experience this power, there's no going back. Follow for more and join our tribe of social warriors. The social brain. Human beings are naturally social creatures, and our brains are uniquely designed not just to think and reason but to connect deeply with others. The social brain is the complex system that allows us to perceive, interpret, and respond to the emotions and actions of those around us. This ability is crucial for building and maintaining personal and professional relationships. The social brain evolved over millions of years as early humans depended on cooperation and social bonds to survive. Key brain regions such as the prefrontal cortex, amygdala, and insula developed to handle the complex demands of social life. Mirror neurons play an essential role by allowing us to empathize with others, firing in our brains as if we were experiencing the same emotions or actions ourselves. The prefrontal cortex acts as a social decision maker, helping us weigh social consequences, regulate impulses, and respond appropriately in conversations and group dynamics. It integrates both logical and emotional information to guide our behavior in social settings. The amygdala serves as the brain's emotional alarm system, quickly detecting threats or friendly signals in others' facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language. It also helps us learn from social experiences by associating emotions with people and situations, refining our social responses over time. The insula is critical for empathy, processing bodily sensations and emotions like pain, disgust, and pleasure. It helps us share others' feelings and make moral decisions based on how our actions impact others, fostering compassionate behavior. Together, these brain regions form a sophisticated and efficient social architecture that enables us to navigate the complexities of human interaction. Understanding how the social brain works is the first step toward mastering social intelligence. By appreciating how deeply wired we are for connection, we can improve our empathy, communication, and emotional awareness to build more meaningful and successful relationships. In the chapters ahead, we will explore how to develop and apply social intelligence effectively in our personal and professional lives, equipping you with tools to connect authentically and empathetically with others. The nature of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It involves two main components: emotional empathy and cognitive empathy. Emotional empathy allows us to directly feel another person's emotions, creating deep emotional bonds. Cognitive empathy helps us understand someone else's emotional state intellectually, even if we don't feel the same emotions ourselves. The brain plays a crucial role in empathy, involving regions such as the anterior insula, anterior cingulate cortex, ACC, and the mirror neuron system. The insula helps us physically mirror others' emotions, while the ACC regulates our emotional responses, preventing us from becoming overwhelmed. Mirror neurons activate both when we perform an action and when we observe others doing the same, forming the neurological basis for empathy. Empathy strongly influences our social behavior. It motivates pro-social actions like helping and comforting others, fosters conflict resolution through understanding, and strengthens relationships by building trust and emotional connection. However, empathy has its limits. Compassion fatigue can occur when we become emotionally exhausted from deeply feeling others' pain, especially in caregiving professions. Differences in culture or experience can also create empathy gaps, making it harder to fully relate to others. Despite these challenges, empathy is a skill that can be developed. Active listening, which involves fully paying attention to others without judgment, deepens our empathetic understanding. Perspective taking, or consciously imagining another person's viewpoint, helps bridge emotional or cultural differences. Self-reflection enhances empathy by making us aware of our own emotions and how they affect our interactions. In essence, empathy is at the core of social intelligence. It enables us to connect with others meaningfully, promotes compassion, and helps us navigate complex social situations with insight. By cultivating empathy, we strengthen our social bonds and build more supportive, understanding communities. The power of non-verbal communication. While words are important in communication, research shows that up to 93% of communication is actually non-verbal. Non-verbal communication includes facial expressions, body language, posture, tone of voice, and subtle behavioral changes that convey powerful messages without words. These cues help us understand others' emotions, intentions, and feelings on a deeper level and build strong connections. Our brain is finely tuned to process non-verbal signals. Facial expressions like genuine smiles or frowns, open or closed body postures, gestures, eye contact, and vocal tone all combine to add meaning and authenticity to what we say. Although cultural differences exist, many nonverbal cues are universal and easily recognized. Nonverbal communication is deeply connected to brain functions. The amygdala detects emotional signals, the prefrontal cortex evaluates social situations and guides responses, and the insula processes empathy. Together, these brain areas help us interpret nonverbal cues and react appropriately. Trust and rapport depend heavily on nonverbal communication. Mirroring, subtly matching another person's body language, builds trust and signals empathy. When our nonverbal signals align with our words, our message feels genuine and believable. Conversely, mismatched signals can create doubt or distrust. Improving nonverbal communication skills involves becoming more aware of your own body language, maintaining appropriate eye contact, observing others' cues, and practicing active listening. Developing these skills enhances social intelligence, allowing you to navigate interactions more effectively, connect better with others, and build stronger, more authentic relationships. Emotional intelligence and social interactions. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, as well as those of others. Unlike IQ, which focuses on cognitive skills, EQ emphasizes emotional awareness, empathy, self-regulation, motivation, and social skills. These core components work together to improve our emotional and social functioning. Self-awareness helps us understand our feelings and how they influence our behavior, leading to better decision-making. Self-regulation allows us to control our emotions in stressful situations and respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. Motivation drives us to set and achieve goals aligned with our values, while empathy enables us to connect deeply with others by understanding their emotions. Social skills help us communicate effectively, resolve conflicts, and build strong relationships. EQ plays a vital role in social interactions by helping us read subtle emotional cues like tone and body language. People with high EQ can adjust their behavior to support others and navigate complex social dynamics with confidence. This skill is essential for building trust and maintaining strong personal and professional relationships. In conflicts, emotional intelligence allows individuals to remain calm, understand different perspectives, and seek constructive solutions. Those lacking EQ may react defensively or aggressively, escalating tensions and harming relationships. In the workplace, emotionally intelligent leaders inspire loyalty, motivate teams, manage stress, and foster a positive environment. EQ also enhances networking by helping individuals build rapport quickly. The benefits of emotional intelligence include greater success, more fulfilling relationships, better mental and physical health, and increased resilience against stress. It helps reduce stress-related health issues by promoting healthy emotional management. Emotional intelligence can be developed through self-reflection, practicing emotional regulation techniques like mindfulness, cultivating empathy through active listening, and improving social skills by engaging openly and assertively with others. Ultimately, EQ empowers us to create meaningful connections, communicate effectively, and become more compassionate individuals, leading to success in both personal and professional life. Mastering the art of communication. Communication is the foundation of all personal and professional relationships. It's not just about speaking and listening, but about clearly and effectively expressing emotions, ideas, and intentions. A huge part of communication, up to 93%, is actually nonverbal, including body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. These nonverbal cues often reveal more about our true feelings than words alone. Effective communication requires emotional intelligence, the ability to be aware of our own and others' emotions, choose our words thoughtfully, and practice active listening. Active listening means fully focusing on the speaker, understanding their message, and responding thoughtfully. It's not just hearing words but truly engaging with the speaker's tone, body language, and feelings. Body language plays a vital role in conveying emotions and attitudes. Eye contact, posture, gestures, and facial expressions all send powerful messages that can either build trust or create confusion. When our verbal and non-verbal signals align, communication becomes clearer and more impactful. By developing both verbal and non-verbal communication skills, we can build stronger relationships, resolve conflicts more effectively, and enhance our social intelligence. Every interaction is an opportunity to deepen connections and navigate the complexities of human relationships with greater ease. Mastering communication is a journey we all can take together, by being present, listening actively, and being mindful of the signals we send and receive. This skill empowers us to connect, collaborate, and thrive in an increasingly interconnected world. The power of empathy in communication. Empathy is much more than simply feeling sympathy for someone else's situation. It is the ability to truly understand and share the emotions of another person, forming a cornerstone of emotional intelligence and effective communication. This chapter explores how empathy distinguishes great communicators who build meaningful connections from those whose interactions feel shallow or transactional. Empathy allows us to step outside our own perspective and see the world through someone else's eyes. It helps us listen beyond words to the underlying feelings, needs, and desires that might not be immediately visible. This emotional connection fosters trust, respect, and stronger social bonds, making communication more authentic and impactful. There are two main types of empathy: cognitive and emotional. Cognitive empathy is the intellectual ability to understand another's viewpoint or reasoning, which is vital for collaboration, problem-solving, and respectful discussions, even when opinions differ. Emotional empathy is the ability to feel what another person feels, enabling deep compassion and support, especially in personal relationships. Balancing both types is crucial for healthy, sustainable connections without emotional burnout. Empathy builds trust by signaling to others that their emotions and well-being matter to us. When people feel truly understood, they open up, share honestly, and engage in meaningful dialogue. In professional settings, empathy enhances teamwork, creativity, and conflict resolution by encouraging cooperation rather than confrontation. It allows us to address the emotional needs driving conflicts with compassion. While some people have a natural inclination toward empathy, it is a skill that anyone can develop. Practical strategies include active listening, imagining oneself in another's situation, validating others' feelings, being fully present, and expressing compassionate support. These practices deepen connection and communication effectiveness. Challenges such as emotional exhaustion, unconscious biases, and cultural differences can hinder empathy. To overcome these, self-care, boundary setting, open-mindedness, and curiosity are essential. By cultivating empathy, we create stronger relationships, foster psychological safety, and navigate human interaction with care and understanding. In essence, empathy is the heart of effective communication. It transforms relationships, turning conversations into connections that feel human and meaningful. Together, by embracing empathy, we become better communicators and warriors of connection in every aspect of life. Mastering emotional regulation in interpersonal dynamics. Emotional regulation begins with emotional self-awareness, the ability to clearly identify and understand our emotions, including their roots and triggers. This awareness helps us move beyond reactive impulses and choose intentional responses that align with our values and goals. Contrary to common belief, emotional regulation is not about suppressing emotions but managing them effectively according to the situation. It involves recognizing how and when to express feelings and finding healthy ways to process them. This skill is essential in handling conflict calmly. Instead of escalating tension through anger or withdrawal, emotional regulation allows us to pause, breathe, and respond thoughtfully, often shifting the dynamic toward understanding and resolution. A key part of regulation is building emotional tolerance, the ability to sit with uncomfortable feelings without rushing to escape or avoid them. This resilience helps us face difficult conversations and emotions with grace rather than fear. Regulating emotions also enhances our capacity for empathy. When calm and grounded, we can truly listen and attune ourselves to others, creating deeper connection and trust. In roles involving power, like leadership or parenting, emotional control is crucial. Leaders who regulate their emotions model maturity and foster respectful, psychologically safe environments. Emotional regulation helps manage insecurities and maintain clarity even in high-stakes situations. The good news is emotional regulation is a trainable skill. Practices like mindfulness, journaling, and deep breathing help rewire the brain to reduce reactivity and increase emotional balance. Over time, this builds resilience and strengthens social intelligence. In everyday life, emotional regulation improves communication and relationships, whether calmly expressing hurt to a partner, receiving feedback at work with openness, or responding to a teenager's anger with curiosity. Ultimately, mastering emotional regulation transforms how we relate to ourselves and others. It anchors us in composure, wisdom, and compassion, turning emotional challenges into opportunities for growth. This quiet inner strength enhances every interaction, creating more meaningful and trusting connections. Decoding the unspoken. Every conversation carries a hidden layer beneath the spoken words, the language of body language. This non-verbal communication reveals our subconscious emotions, often more honestly than words. Mastering it is essential for deepening social intelligence, but true mastery is not about memorizing rigid rules. Instead, it requires observing gestures within the full emotional and situational context and recognizing that each person expresses themselves uniquely. The art of attunement, emotionally and physically syncing with others, is the heart of nonverbal communication. It goes beyond merely copying posture or tone. It's about genuinely connecting through empathy and presence. Attunement creates a neurological feedback loop called limbic resonance, which makes both parties feel safer, understood, and connected. This authentic connection allows conversations to flow naturally and meaningfully without scripts or strategies. Nonverbal cues vary widely across cultures, individuals, and contexts. What may signify confidence in one culture could be seen as disrespectful in another. Similarly, personal factors like upbringing, personality, trauma history, or neurological differences shape how people express themselves non-verbally. Developing fluency in body language demands humility, curiosity, and the willingness to suspend snap judgments. Instead, it calls for noticing patterns over time and asking, what might this signal mean for this person right now? In today's globalized world, cultural sensitivity in interpreting nonverbal cues is crucial. Socially intelligent people observe carefully, ask clarifying questions when unsure, and attune themselves not only to individuals but also to cultural contexts. This heightened awareness reduces misunderstandings, deepens empathy, and fosters more inclusive and respectful connections. Ultimately, mastering nonverbal communication helps us move beyond merely exchanging words. It enables us to truly connect on an emotional level, creating bonds based on understanding, trust, and authenticity. This skill empowers us to respond with grace and appropriateness, no matter who we are engaging with, making our interactions richer and more meaningful. Emotional currents. True social intelligence goes beyond just observing people's words and actions. It requires understanding the hidden emotions that shape every interaction. Each conversation carries an emotional tone, sometimes subtle, sometimes intense, that deeply influences how we connect with others. Emotional awareness means sensing what others feel beneath the surface, even when those feelings are masked by politeness, distraction, or silence. To do this effectively, we must also stay emotionally grounded ourselves so we don't confuse our own feelings with those of others. Emotional regulation is the skill of managing our internal emotional responses, especially in high-pressure or vulnerable moments. It allows us to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This ability builds trust, strengthens relationships, and helps us lead with calm and clarity. Emotional responsiveness takes this further by guiding how we engage with others in real time. It means meeting people where they truly are emotionally, not where we want them to be, and responding with empathy and care. Sometimes that means offering acknowledgement instead of advice, or sharing joy without skepticism. It requires setting aside our own agendas to fully inhabit another's emotional world, adapting our tone and approach to create safety and connection. Together, these skills, awareness, regulation, and responsiveness, help us become more effective communicators, leaders, friends, and partners. They enable us to navigate difficult emotions, deepen trust, and build meaningful connections. At its heart, social intelligence is not just about understanding others but uplifting them emotionally, creating bonds that empower and inspire us all. Navigating difficult conversations, turning tension into trust. Difficult conversations are not inherently negative. Rather, they are emotionally charged interactions that hold significant importance in our relationships and lives. These moments might involve addressing a broken trust with a friend, giving honest feedback at work, confronting challenging behavior within a family, or even saying no to something we care about deeply. What truly makes these conversations difficult isn't just the subject itself, but the emotional landscape surrounding it. Fear of conflict, fear of rejection, fear of losing a connection, or simply not having the right words to express complex feelings. Most of us respond to these situations with a fight or flight approach, either rushing in too aggressively or avoiding the conversation altogether. However, neither approach serves us well. Avoidance breeds resentment and damages connection, while aggression sparks defensiveness and escalates tension. To handle difficult conversations effectively, we first need to accept their complexity. This means preparing ourselves emotionally and mentally before stepping into the dialogue. Success in such moments isn't about proving we're right. It's about preserving dignity, both ours and theirs. Intentionality is key. What outcome do we truly want? What deeper need are we trying to express? Clarifying these questions grounds us and shifts our focus from simply airing grievances to fostering mutual understanding. In reality, difficult conversations are less about winning and more about listening deeply, speaking clearly, and holding space for both perspectives. When we approach with curiosity instead of control, and empathy instead of judgment, the conversation transforms. Tension shifts to exploration, and opposition becomes an opportunity for collaboration. How we say things, the tone and framing, often matters more than what we say. An accusatory tone can turn even a well-meant point into an attack, while a gentle, sincere tone can make hard truths easier to receive. Framing means consciously shaping our message to align with our intentions and respect the other person's emotions. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," saying, "I feel unheard when we talk, and I want us to understand each other better," opens a door rather than building a wall. Emotional tone is powerful. Are we calm and centered, or tense and defensive? People intuitively respond to our emotional energy more than our words. Approaching with genuine curiosity and humility creates psychological safety, a space where both feel secure enough to be vulnerable and real. Listening is the greatest leadership skill in difficult conversations. True listening requires quieting our inner defenses and assumptions to truly hear the other person's experience. It's not about waiting to speak but stepping into their emotional world with openness. When someone feels genuinely heard, defenses soften, pain eases, and new possibilities emerge. Listening doesn't mean agreement. It means validating feelings even when we question conclusions. Reflecting what we hear, asking clarifying questions, and staying emotionally steady when surprised or hurt helps steer conversations from conflict toward connection. When it's our turn to speak, having listened deeply gives us wisdom and perspective. We often discover that the real issue wasn't what we thought, or that our intentions were misunderstood. Such insights arise only when we give others the dignity of full listening. Ultimately, difficult conversations succeed not because we avoid discomfort but because we face it together, with care, courage, and steady presence. When both people feel seen and respected, even the hardest truths can land softly. Trust isn't broken by truth. It's broken by how we handle truth without care. Listening, then, is our most powerful tool for repair. The art of influence. Influence is often misunderstood as manipulation, coercion, or forceful control, but true influence is none of these. Real influence means creating a space where people feel genuinely seen, heard, and understood, enabling them to make decisions that align with their best interests, and often, with yours as well. It might seem paradoxical, but the essence of influence lies in alignment, not in domination or pressure. To influence effectively, you first need to understand the needs, desires, fears, and motivations of the people you interact with. It's about tuning into their internal conversations, the thoughts and feelings that guide their choices, and offering pathways that truly resonate with their values and goals. Every interaction is shaped by invisible forces like assumptions, biases, social norms, and emotional triggers. By becoming aware of these forces, you can gently guide conversations toward outcomes that benefit both parties. Unlike manipulation, which seeks to gain at another's expense, ethical influence aims for mutual benefit. It's a two-way exchange, not a one-sided demand. At the heart of influence is suggestion, not imposition. It means offering ideas, insights, and choices that invite the other person to think and act in ways that meet their needs, even if those needs are not fully formed yet. This subtlety is key. Influence works best not through loud or aggressive tactics, but in the quiet spaces between words, in the unspoken signals and gestures that support or contradict what is said. The most skilled influences don't command or demand. They invite others to discover the value of an idea, solution, or perspective on their own. This blend of emotional intelligence and cognitive insight requires patience and the ability to lead without pushing. When done right, influence lets others feel ownership over their decisions, even if you gently guided them there. Central to this process is trust. Without trust, influence becomes mere manipulation. People won't follow someone they don't believe has their best interests at heart. Authenticity, The consistent alignment of words, actions, and intentions is the foundation of trust. When people sense that you are genuine, transparent, and true to your values, they are more open to your influence. Building trust is slow and steady. It's not about grand gestures but everyday consistency. It also requires vulnerability. Admitting mistakes and showing humility deepens connection and makes you more relatable. Influence is not a one-way street. It's a shared process of reciprocal growth. Using principles like reciprocity, giving first, social proof, showing others agree, scarcity, highlighting uniqueness, authority, demonstrating credibility, and consistency, encouraging small commitments, can enhance your influence, but only when grounded in authenticity. Ultimately, influence is about empathy, respect, and integrity, gently guiding others toward decisions aligned with their best interests, helping them see the value in your ideas, and walking alongside them, not pushing them. Developing empathy, the foundation of human connection. Empathy is the ability to truly understand and share another person's feelings. It forms the invisible thread that connects us all and creates a space where people feel seen, heard, and valued. However, empathy is often misunderstood. It's not just feeling sorry for someone or mimicking their emotions, it runs much deeper. There are 3 key layers of empathy: cognitive empathy, which involves understanding another's perspective without necessarily agreeing; emotional empathy, where we resonate with their feelings on a deeper level; and compassionate empathy, which moves us to take action to help ease their suffering. Empathy varies depending on context. At work, it might mean recognizing a colleague's frustration and offering practical support. In personal relationships, it might mean simply sitting with someone in grief without rushing to fix the problem. At its core, empathy is always about active listening, attentiveness, and a genuine desire to understand another person beyond words. Active listening is the heart of empathy. It requires us to be fully present, quieting our own judgments and distractions, and engage deeply with the speaker's words and emotions. This includes verbal cues like paraphrasing and asking clarifying questions, as well as nonverbal signals such as maintaining eye contact and open body language. Reflecting back what we hear and validating emotions helps build trust and connection. Developing empathy is a skill that can be cultivated through intentional practices. Perspective taking allows us to imagine ourselves in another's shoes, expanding our understanding beyond our own experience. Emotional recognition teaches us to observe and tune into others' feelings, improving our sensitivity and responses. Mindfulness helps us stay present and respond with kindness and patience. Acts of service like volunteering expose us to diverse experiences, fostering shared humanity. Lastly, self-compassion is essential because we can't extend empathy to others without being kind to ourselves. Empathy is more than a skill, it's a mindset and way of being. The more we practice it, the deeper our relationships become and the more we contribute to a world where everyone feels valued, understood, and supported. Conflict resolution, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. Conflict is a natural part of human interaction. At some point, differences in viewpoints, misunderstandings, or conflicting interests will inevitably create tension. However, conflict doesn't have to be destructive. When approached with the right mindset, it becomes a powerful catalyst for personal growth, innovation, and deeper connections. The first step in resolving conflict effectively is understanding that it often arises from unmet core needs such as respect, validation, or understanding. When these needs are threatened, emotions flare and can overshadow the logical facts of the disagreement. Recognizing the emotional layer beneath the conflict is essential. Conflict is rarely just about the surface issue. It's about how people feel about that issue. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role here, helping us address both the problem and the feelings involved. Ignoring emotions can cause conflicts to escalate into defensiveness, anger, or withdrawal. But when we take time to understand and validate emotions, we move toward deeper understanding instead of surface-level disputes. Additionally, conflicts often stem from different perspectives shaped by people's backgrounds, values, and experiences. Embracing this diversity of viewpoint allows us to approach disagreements with curiosity rather than judgment. The goal of conflict resolution is not to win, but to find outcomes that respect both parties' needs and perspectives and foster mutual understanding. When handled well, conflict can strengthen relationships and create opportunities for growth. Some key strategies for positive conflict resolution include active listening, truly hearing and understanding the emotions behind words, and using I statements to express personal feelings without blaming others. Reframing negative statements into neutral or positive ones helps shift the focus from blame to collaboration. Finding common ground highlights shared goals, creating a foundation for resolution. Lastly, seeking win-win solutions ensures both parties feel their needs are fairly met through creativity and cooperation. Managing our own emotions is one of the hardest parts of conflict. Emotional regulation, being aware of rising emotions, taking pauses, reframing thoughts, practicing mindfulness, and leading with empathy, allows us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This helps keep conversations calm, constructive, and collaborative. Together, by combining emotional intelligence, effective communication strategies, and empathy, we can transform conflict from a source of division into an opportunity for understanding, connection, and growth. Thank you for listening to Social Intelligence Audiobook Summary here on Splendor. We hope this journey into understanding human connections and mastering social skills has inspired you to build deeper, more meaningful relationships. If you found value in this audiobook, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our future content. Also, feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep shining with confidence and empathy. This is Splendor, wishing you the best on your path to social mastery.